Hello, welcome to Utterly Geek. You're freaking out a little bit. I'm having little technical issues already on my side.
Yay!
Hooray!
What's a week with the Utterly Geek podcast without technical difficulties?
Usually, as of late, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
You'd think with a third of us missing, we'd be even better, but nope.
Stronger, maybe, even. Who knows?
Yeah, no, who knows? This week, I am Darren Bell, and I'm joined by Chris Walczyk. And our fine Italian gentleman is missing, and so it's just the two of us.
Yeah. Although his image is here in spirit.
God, that's
with,
right.
With an angry man. I went with the first one, the one with the guy gritting his teeth, because I thought that was fairly accurate for the angry man that he is.
All I searched for that was old angry Italian man. So that was actually one of the first to pop up. So yeah, that's appropriate. That's Steve.
Yeah.
Steve's gonna be mad all week this week.
Yep. And silent anger all weekend long.
Silent as the grave. So we might be looking at a bit of an abbreviated episode, but that's fine. Sometimes you need a little break.
Yeah.
Over the past week, I guess let's get into it. I played some games.
Yeah, all right.
I picked up that Has Been Heroes.
Okay.
On the Switch.
All right.
Because I had a bunch of trade-in credit at a reputable online gaming trade-in site.
Okay.
eStarland. I will plug them because they're pretty awesome. Yeah, that game's harder than shit. I haven't actually finished one combat scenario yet. I guess it's just not clicking right because the combat's really strange. So you've got the whole shtick of Has Been Heroes is it's a roguelite. You've got three heroes, each as a different class. You've got a warrior who hits once real hard. You've got a mage who can hit twice, kind of medium damage, and then a rogue who hits 3 times with low damage each time. And they're each in their own lane. And you're progressing from left to right. There's a map in the lower right-hand corner with randomly generated like shops and things like that.
Okay.
And you're going to find random nodes that are combat. It's kind of like a Darkest Dungeon map.
Oh, okay.
But there's no penalty. There's nothing you pay to move from one spot to the other. And as far as I can tell, you can loop back to where you've already been. So if you find a shop but you don't have enough money, you can come back to it later, as long as you're on that same screen. But each of your heroes is in a lane, and there are 3 lanes. And when they're ready to go, there's a little icon with a melee symbol and how many times they're going to hit. Enemies will be coming down the 3 lanes in various positions. When you initiate attack, you cannot change lane. Your hero will lunge forward to the first enemy and attack. The game then pauses. Anyone who is out of their lane, you can shovel someone else into that lane to continue the attack on that lane. But there's this whole thing where they've got a health bar and they have stamina. And stamina blocks just eat up a single attack for every block that they have. And you're not doing any damage until you break that stamina. So it becomes a juggling game of trying to get just the right number of attacks in on a lane to then do damage to the enemy.
Gotcha.
And the more damage you do to the enemy, the farther they fly backward away from you. If they get to your heroes, they do damage. So once you're done attacking and you're done pausing the game, it starts up again and your characters are on a cooldown before they can attack again. And that's where I'm getting fucked, is I'm mismanaging what's getting hit when, and I haven't got through a single combat scenario. Like, it just, tactically, it hasn't clicked yet, and I think it's because I'm not using the spells correctly, because each character has, like, scrolls that are just cast a spell at various locations. They can target different things. And those are also on a cooldown. You're not spending mana or anything in order to get those out there. It's just a cooldown. So I think I'm not using those correctly, and I'm not quite attacking in the right orientation. Like, there's definitely a lot there, but I've barely scratched the surface. I haven't, like, found anything.
Yeah.
it's one of those games where you'll find an icon. It's like, oh, this has a green thing on it, and so I guess that might do healing. So you have one character pick it up, hoping it'll help them. But no, that's not at all what that thing does.
Matter of fact, you picked up poison. You are now slowly dying.
I haven't run into that yet, but it might be in there.
Okay.
And the whole premise is you're trying to escort the king's princesses to school. They're going away to some. The words escape me right now, but they're being shipped away to like a preparatory school.
Okay.
And you're just trying to escort them as two old heroes and one new young upstart rogue. And there's definitely mechanics there that would do a bit, but it's tough, and I'm just not used to that style of game.
Yeah.
I did play that Prey demo, that first hour demo.
Oh, shit.
PS4.
Yeah.
Atmospherically, that game hits it really well.
Yeah.
It feels like Dishonored meets BioShock, but with a lot more BioShock.
Yeah.
Like it's like that faux Art Deco Renaissance, like the return of Art Deco in the 70s. Like
yeah.
It just feels right, and even in the demo, there's a real big feeling of unease.
Okay.
And how they do the movement tutorial is it's really fucking funny. It's great. You show up.
Was that whole like button pressing thing like it was in the trailer, or is it something different?
It's something different. Well, yeah, it is the button pressing thing, but how they do it, where they're like, you only have 7 seconds. That's like, try to hide in the room, and so the only thing in the room is a chair. So you kind of walk up to the chair and you crouch behind it, and you actually hear someone, is she hiding behind the chair? I'm like, yeah, we don't know what she's doing. Okay, you're doing great. Because it's teaching you just the crouch mechanic.
Okay.
It's well done. I highly recommend it. They do enough in that demo to really get you understanding the different systems at play. Because unlike something like a BioShock or even a Dishonored, all of the little junk and detritus and garbage that you find has a purpose. And they have a reasonable explanation. So there's a crafting mechanic in it.
Yeah.
But everything can be boiled down to one of 4 different elements. So you just want to collect all the garbage and detritus that you can. But also they play with that in the fact that all of the garbage and detritus could be these little fucking monsters that'll pop out and attack you.
Oh, shit.
So it's like Dishonored if anything in the drawer that you open could pop out and eat your face. So there's a weird tension to just exploring and wanting to read all the emails. Like, yeah, there's a bit of a Deus Ex vibe to the whole emails and news and stuff.
From what I've heard with the reviews coming out, I heard that the story is kind of something out of Half-Life, like the first Half-Life, where it's just like you're the scientist and doing all these little experiments at the beginning, and then this one big experiment that you're a part of goes horribly wrong, and then you're basically just fighting your way through it. But then I also heard that's just from the story aspect, but from a gameplay aspect, it's like System Shock meets Deus Ex kind of gameplay. Like it's kind of like that, where you have a lot of options on how you want to get from point A to point B.
Right. Yeah. And they say that in the demo. You get to one point and they're like, okay, this is the point. Like a window pops up. Choose your way. Level up and hack it or break it or find the key.
Yeah.
Ooh, like, okay, you're going to be that style of game.
Yeah.
And hey, it shows promise. I would be very curious to pick that up, but right now I've got so much else.
Yeah.
because I'm still on that Nier.
Mm.
I haven't gotten much farther in that,
Okay.
but I do have a number of new weapons, and a bunch of weird shit has happened.
Well, as it should be with
Look,
it being near, but
little robots just kept screaming, "This cannot continue! This cannot continue!" like to an annoying level, and then they kind of all bound together and scroze out an android with pristine white hair. It was the PC Master Race, and I had to kill it. And when you kill it, another one erupts from its chest. I don't know what's happening in
Platinum.
here.
Platinum, man. Platinum.
Yeah, I've also found the robot version of Jean-Paul Sartre, who's a philosopher.
Okay.
And he's like, I have lots of fans all over the place. And what is existence anyway? And everyone's like, this guy's weird, but he has fans. So you find a fan in the same village who's like, oh, I've got a letter I want to send to him. Can you take it to him? Oh, okay. So you take the letter to Jean Paul, you deliver it, and he reads it, and he's like, oh, communication is the lifeblood of creation. What do you think creation is? And your character just kind of stops and is like, well, aren't you going to reply to the letter? He's like, that's the beauty of communication. Not everything is deemed worthy of communicating back. Okay. So you go back to the fan very excitedly. Oh, what did he say about my letter? He deemed it not applicable to conversation and not worthy of a reply. And she's like, oh, he's amazing, isn't he? That's the greatest thing ever. Like, what the fuck is going on in this game?
Sweet.
And it's on top of that, it's a really great Platinum game, and the whole chip system is great because it allows people like me who are not that great at their games to play through it and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I've got the one installed right now that's like, yo, if I'm close to death, just heal me. Just auto heal me, please. I don't want to have to fiddle with that.
Yeah.
There's another one that'll be like, oh, auto dodge, or make your dodges longer, and the greatest thing is there's 3 different profiles that you can set up so that on the fly you're like, oh wait, this is going to be a big ass fucking fight. I want a lot more damage, so flop over to my high damage output setup. Or like, oh no, there's a bunch of little things that I just don't want to deal with, so I'll flip over to my high armor set. Like, it's really, really well designed, and the weapons are weird. Not in design, but each weapon has a story. And I'm not sure how I'm unlocking additional chapters of the weapon stories. But there's one of them's about 2 lovers, and it's a katana, and this game, it's weird.
It's kind of like because Devil May Cry did the same thing, where it was each weapon had a story behind it, and it's only if you select the weapon and actually view it, it doesn't have any stats or anything. It just tells you about the weapon itself and the history and the lore within that world / universe, and that's it.
No, that's not at all how it is in Nier. Maybe by leveling it up, because you do see all of the stats.
Right.
And they do have like bonus potentials to unlock, and like this weapon's going to do this much damage. This is a long sword. This is a short sword. This is a spear. You can do this number of combo if it's your primary weapon. This much if it's your secondary. But then there's another category that's like story, and you unlock additional lines of story. I think through just leveling up the weapon.
Oh, okay.
That would make more sense.
Okay.
But
yeah, so it doesn't tell the entire story, or it's just like a story that has nothing to do with the weapon, or is it just...
It has to do with the weapon.
Okay.
But I'm not sure the connection yet.
All right.
Like, I found a bunch of them that are just, like, made by the robots, so they're a bunch of, like, scrap metal just fucking plastered together. They look nasty as hell. But they have a story. So I don't know, man.
Okay.
Nier's good. I recommend Nier.
Because it's that level of weird that's just really great.
And the music too. The music is fucking spot on in Nier. I love it. I will find myself just stopping in certain places just to listen to the music. That and yeah, weird shit just happens. Like I don't want to spoil too much because there's so much weird.
That's fine.
I found one little robot with a headband that just attacked me out of nowhere, and he called himself Sensei and said, "I will train you, fight me." And he's kind of a pushover. So I slapped the shit out of him. He's like, "That is good. You have learned a lot today. Find me later." And he just waddles around on the roof where he is, and I don't think he ever moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's clowns who are looking for seeds. I don't know. It's good.
Have you run into the issue? Because one of the things that I heard that was some feedback on the game was that some of the areas are really large and are empty.
Yeah, they're definitely large and empty, but there's a reason for it narratively.
Okay.
Like straight up, one of them's a desert. It is just a fucking desert.
Okay.
And like, again, I've only got 3 regions. There's a city, a desert, and a forest that I found right now. And the forest is like the most narrow and closed off of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the desert is big and open, and there's not a lot going on. And at first, I thought I was playing like a story-driven linear game, but it's straight up open world.
Okay.
And I don't understand why they made that decision just yet, but
yeah,
I think it's so they can hide more weird. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. There's a lot hidden because there's these couple of characters too that you can talk to about game mechanics and like, how do I save? How do I do that? Because a lot about this game is not knowing that stuff. And one character you ask, because the map is really rudimentary.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, one of the dialogue options you can pick says, the map isn't that useful. I can't quite make things out. And he's like, yeah, that's because the satellite's resolution isn't that great, so you're not going to quite know where something is in relation to the ground and you, but it's fine. You'll get used to it. Like, what? It's an interesting design choice in that they're intentionally making it kind of shitty.
Mm-hmm.
For, I think, story purposes. It's kind of like Deadly Premonition, but not to that extreme.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nier's a thing. I wanna get through it. Nice. Yeah, that's about all I played.
All right. Well, I've just surpassed the 25-hour mark in Grim Dawn. I played a lot more over this weekend. Still on the second act, but I think I'm kind of making my way to the third. There's supposed to be 4, I think, maybe 4 or 5 acts of that game. I've been finding myself kind of running around and getting the shrines, which are the points that you get to put into the star system for the passive abilities. Okay. So I've kind of been going back into old places and getting those shrines so that way I can really maximize the potential of my character. Right. Have been swapping out a number of items as it is with a loot game. And one thing I totally didn't recognize since the last time I mentioned on the podcast, it has fucking multiplayer, which I didn't realize. I know Steve. I asked Steve about it. I was like, "Did you say there was multiplayer?" And he goes, "Yeah, dude." And I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, he totally did.
Yeah, and
that's all on you.
I just totally forgot that there was multiplayer to it. So I was like, "Oh shit, man, this might be better than fucking Diablo 3, man." Like, because that was the one thing that I was just like, besides from the voice acting, like the one thing that again, because I forgot, I was like, the one thing that would push this beyond Diablo 3 would be if there was multiplayer. And the fact that you can have up to 4 people in the multiplayer of that, I was like, holy shit, man. Like,
good job, Dum Dum.
this game's fucking awesome. Like, it's so goddamn good. Like, I want to see how goddamn chaotic that game is with, like, 3 to 4 people just all fucking firing away with all their abilities. Yeah, I actually had to also redistribute my stats because like there were certain skills I realized I wasn't using. Like I tested them out. Some of them were even I had since the beginning of the game, but I was like, I'm not really using this. So I basically just went to. There's one person in the main town that you start in from Act 1 who can basically just for using their in-game currency, you could just take the stats back and then redistribute them. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to get rid of this thing and then just put it into make my skills that I do use a lot to make them extremely powerful. Yeah, and then as far as story-wise goes, there's like one, like I've come across the second big town that's like kind of like another HQ that I've come across. And then they also do like, it's kind of weird in the second act. They do this moment where it's just like, it just throws you against 2 factions and it's like, pick one. And like, all you do is just like, you just talk to both of the people who are like, oh, we're recruiting. And you basically say, okay, what are you guys all about? And then they tell you, and then you go to the next guy and go, okay, what are you guys all about? And then once you decide, you're like, the other guy will be like, oh, well, huh, okay, well, fuck you then. And then so if you go to their camp, they'll start attacking you.
Jeez.
So it's like
kind of like a faction.
Yeah. It's like a faction war going on, and it really is like if you just go in there, they all fucking despise you. And then meanwhile, with the group that you just signed up for, you have to like try to prove your worth, because it's not just like even if you sign up for them, they're not immediately like, oh man, you're amazing, like thanks for signing up with us. It's like, no, you gotta fucking prove your worth and like earn reputation by doing shit for them, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty good. Although I'm starting to get a little bored with some of the locations because they're starting to be not as interesting as it was in the first act. The first act was like each location was pretty unique in its own way, but like the second act is starting to get to areas that are a little too open and take a while to get from one spot to another.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's that's like the one problem I have right now with it is just trying to get from point A to point B, where it's just like, oh man, I gotta fucking work my way to the next portal, so that way I know that's like a good place to stop. Because if you stop and then, you know, like fucking go back to your town or whatever, you lose. You have to start back from wherever the last portal you were in. But yeah, that's, I don't know. It's just a lot of times I'm finding myself saying, man, I just want to get to that fucking next point, that next checkpoint, so then I can move on. I don't know if it's just I'm getting exhausted from the game itself, or if like the pacing is weird as far as being excited about leveling up and what skills I'm getting. Because like now I think I'm not sure. I think the level cap is at 50 and I'm at like 44.
Or maybe you're just an impatient prick.
It could be.
Well, let's put that out there too.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, no. Once you get to those last levels, like the time between them, like at the same time, I can get it. You're not moving at the clip that you were earlier, but at the same time, do you really want to rush that? End game leveling is always kind of tough. Mm-hmm. You know, that once you hit that curve is what do you strive for now that you are max level? Yeah. And I don't know what Grim Dawn does. It sounds like most of it is the exploration and finding more of your consolations and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then finding more side quests and whatnot. But
So then it seems to me that larger areas are only natural once you get to that point. Like,
Yeah.
it would funnel you in the first act through a number of key things, and it would be smaller and tighter so that you can get leveled up and know the systems. And then once you get to the higher levels, it's like, boom, okay, it opens up. There's a lot more space to cover because there's a lot more shit to find, and you're motivated to do that as your driving force to play through the game.
Mm. Okay, it is 85, not 50. All right, so that's good.
But still, it's a snail's pace.
Yeah, and I think it's also because I don't mind exploring because I mean I'm still filling out the map as best as I can.
Right.
Because I still like exploring, but I think that Act 1 had a lot more moments where I came across a lot of side quests because of exploring. Or I came across like little things like that fucking town that I mentioned last week that got under attack. Like I totally stumbled across that, and that became a side quest, and I thought that was fucking awesome. But like, there's not a lot of that in this second act, and it kind of sucks. But I mean, I guess I don't know if this is just the point of the game where it's like, okay, we throw this shit at you. Now you're understanding the game. Now just enjoy it, and like. We're just gonna kind of go for a long stride for a bit before we fucking ramp it up.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I don't know, but yeah, still enjoying my time with it. So outside of that, I have been playing more PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I am
right. I really want to get into that. The more I see, I've been watching a lot of the Giant Bomb coverage of it.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing, but such a logical next step of all of those styles of game. Like, why is it a surprise? Like, this shouldn't be a surprise in any capacity.
No. And
but it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to exactly pinpoint as to just why it's really fucking good. Like I don't know if it's just because the rounds are so short, so that's why it's just easy to play. Because
if you're bad, the rounds are real short.
Right. Or yeah, I don't really know. There's so much about it that's just so complex but so simple at the same time.
So we haven't really talked about this a lot on the podcast. So for anyone who doesn't know, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is basically a Hunger Games or Battle Royale-esque game. If you're rolling solo, it'll be a plane of about 100 people flying in a straight line over a gigantic fucking island.
It's huge.
You choose when to pop the fuck out of the back of that, and it's a no-holds-barred, last man standing survival game.
Mm-hmm.
And rounds can last upwards of maybe 30 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
30 to 40 minutes, depending.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends because, I mean, when the first circle starts closing, it's like
5 minutes.
Yeah, you have like 5 minutes until it starts closing, and even then, once that first circle starts closing, you have like another like 3 minutes to like get to get inside the circle. But with each increment of the circle getting smaller, the time for when the next circle closes, and then the speed of the circle also increases. So yeah, I mean, even though it's like by the time the first circle closes and it's like a total of 9 minutes have gone by, yeah, I would say roughly the longest that it could go would be like 20, 25, 30 max.
Yeah, and there is a team mode. I kind of want to grab it just so that we can roll in doubles.
Yeah, team mode is actually a lot of fun because you work like a squad and it's fucking great. And then considering that even once you get shot, you're not dead, you're just knocked down, and you can crawl to other people and then they can help you up. So it gives you a fighting chance to
Unless someone runs over and fucking boots you in the face.
Right, yeah. And
They literally do. They can stomp
yep.
you in the mouth.
Yeah. Uh yeah, so I'm at the point where I've played so much of that game where I understand what attachments go to what, and that I don't need to pick up every single fucking thing that I come across. Because my first
pick up everything.
Yeah, because my first 4 hours of that game was just like, I'm gonna fucking take everything. But it's like, dude, why do you have like fucking like 5 red dot sights? Like you can't even carry that many rifles. Like it's not even possible.
But if you have it, they don't have it.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I guess. So I mean, I look for more for the if I come across like the 2 times or 4 times or 8 times scopes, then I fucking hoard that shit, because that's the stuff that people can pick you off with. But yeah.
And they will just fucking pick you off. You hear bullets in the distance in this game, and that puts you on alert.
Yeah. Well, plus also there's silencers in the game, so there are times you just suddenly are getting shot at, and you have no idea where the fuck that's coming from.
Yep. They do tension really well in that game. It's a magical, wonderful thing, and I'm gonna need to buy it now.
The only problem that I have come into it is that, which is weird. It's been the last couple of days that I've been playing it. I don't know if they pushed out an update last week or something, but the last 2 days that I've been playing it, I've been crashing a lot, and I lowered my graphics settings so that way maybe it wouldn't strain my computer as much.
It is early access.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of my thought, is because it's early access, that's why it just fucking will randomly crash, because there's times where I'll just be free falling into where I want to go, and then suddenly it'll crash, or like I'll just be running around looting places and then suddenly it'll crash, or I'm about to get into a battle and then it'll suddenly crash. So but the good thing is that I think that with the last update that happened, even if it was a small one that came out recently, when it crashes, at least now a window pops up that says, hey, would you like to submit? And it'll gather all the data and then send it to us, or would you rather just close it and start the game back up again? So I've been fucking sending those off and saying, yep, that's fine. Take all the data you need, figure out what's going on.
That being said, it's early access, but as much as I dislike the early access system as a core concept, this game in its current state is playable enough and entertaining enough to where I don't have a problem spending the $30 on it.
Yeah.
It's a magical, wonderful thing. It's one of those rare games that for me, I could just sit down and watch. It's very, very streamable.
Oh, yeah.
It's a spectator sport, and that is what I want to see them develop, is good spectator controls.
Oh, yeah.
So that you could have a third party in there just spectating a match.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to just try to work out a system so that people couldn't spectate other players to their own advantage, you know, from a competitive standpoint.
Right. Yeah, because right now there's a spectator mode, but that's only if you're in groups.
Squad, yeah. So, yeah, even if you're in a giant 100-person game and you fucking die as number 100, you can't watch shit.
Yeah.
You are done and over. Go back to the main menu and just re-fucking start, because you're done.
Yeah.
You are done. And I haven't even played the fucking game. It's a wonderful experience. It's great to watch.
Yeah. It's fucking even better to play, man. Like, I'm telling you.
Well, 2 million people agree. It has sold that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And I just hope the other reason why I got the game was because I saw how active the devs were, and I saw how often that they were pushing out updates, and if they were pushing out updates, they were fucking big. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, all right, yeah, I could support these guys. They seem passionate enough and willing to put their time and effort into it.
You know what I would actually like to see is like a group of people playing the game in solo queue in the same game, but actually rolling as a squad and see how tiny you can make that circle.
Yeah.
Like get in as like the last group of people and just get as close as you can and let the fucking shield just destroy you. Because as time goes on, this energy shield will shrink in, and if you're on the wrong side of that, it will fucking kill you.
Oh yeah.
So that's how they force from 100 people to 2 to an area where you have to murder each other.
Yeah.
And I just want to see 2 people hug to death.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't really know
how tight can that circle get.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm real curious about that.
And the circles with the energy field that closes, it's not like an instant death. It's like a slow burn, so it sucks. But it starts as a slow burn, but like over time, it just does a shit ton of damage. It
accelerates, yeah.
Because I made the mistake one time of one round that I was playing last night where I was like, oh shit, I need to get on this one island that's super far away. Fuck taking the bridge. I'm gonna swim. Swimming sucks in that game. You fucking swim at such a snail's pace, and I just saw that circle just go over me, and I think it was like the 3rd circle, so it was still like just picking away at your health, and I was just like, oh my god, I'd just rather drown myself at this point, because the thing is just, it's good. I'm not going to be able to reach the island. The next circle is going to be closing in like a minute. Like, fuck it. So
yep. Fuck it.
So swimming is really slow in that game, but it makes sense considering if you're carrying 2 fucking rifles, a pistol, armor, a helmet, like all this other shit that's in your
giant backpack filled with ammo. Like, you should drown. You should just drown. You shouldn't be able to swim.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder if that would be a good Mythbuster thing, video game Mythbuster thing, is like depending
swimming
on
with a pack of shit.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, like whether how much stuff you have in your inventory affects the speed that you can swim at. Like, so like say if you have nothing on you and if you're just fucking hauling ass like in the water, if it's actually like a pretty good speed, or like versus like having carrying all kinds of shit on you, and then it alters the speed that you swim at.
Good question.
Yeah.
Do not know.
Because there was something we tried when I was in the squad where we tried like running without having our weapons equipped. If you run faster, like because you're not holding it.
Oh, so it's like the knife in CS:GO.
Yeah, and like we weren't really sure. Like it looked like we were kind of moving a little bit faster, but it wasn't like, hey, go from here to here. Go, because because there is no time for that shit. Like
in that game, speed isn't necessarily what you want.
No,
unless you're in a fucking dune buggy and just want to fucking book it.
Oh yeah,
like either go at top speed and try to not to run yourself over, or crawl like a snake in the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Anything else, or should we move on to news?
That is it for me. Let's move on to news.
Cool. We already covered a bunch of it.
All right.
Let's see. News time. Oh, let me just make a note. Okay. Sony's E3 press conference is confirmed to be Monday, June 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Sweet.
So that would be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives us Microsoft, Bethesda, and Sony between Sunday and Monday. Nintendo will still be Tuesday morning. And Ubisoft and EA probably slot in somewhere Monday. Okay. Probably early Monday and late Monday.
Mm.
Nintendo typically goes last.
Mm.
But we have a hard date for Sony, so that's shocking. It dawned on me the other day, we are about a month away from E3 now. Already.
Yeah.
It's here.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. Let's see here. What else? Okay, there's a couple of changes to Steam. Let's go over them. Late last week, they changed their gifting policy.
Okay.
And how that actually operates. In the past, when you went to gift a game to someone on Steam, you could either do it through email or directly through Steam. Sometimes it was questionable as to which one you needed to do, and sometimes it wouldn't work. In which case, that game would show up as an item in your inventory that you could then just send as an inventory item.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you tried to send someone a game as a gift and they rejected it, it would show up in your inventory as an item that you could trade or activate on your account if you didn't already own it.
Mm-hmm.
They're stripping all that away. So you can schedule a gift now where you can buy a game and say deliver it on this date, like on their birthday.
Awesome. Yes.
And then at that point, it will bill you and it'll automatically show up as a gift on their account.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Should they decline a gift, it just cancels the order straight out. You get a refund. There's no dealing with your inventory. And you can cross-country gift. Unless there's a large pricing difference between the two countries, in which case there'll be a notification saying you can't gift it to someone in that country. Or that user.
Oh, okay.
So some people are really pissed about this. Because they liked having their games as items that they could freely trade later on. And as someone who used to do a lot of TF2 item trading, that was pretty much the way to go to trade shit for games.
Yeah.
Because it would just be sitting in your inventory and waiting for it. Otherwise, they could renege on the purchase and cancel it, and it was all a fucking mess, and people would get scammed left and right.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think this is a good thing, this new gifting policy.
It's kind of funny.
Surface.
It's kind of funny because with the whole scheduling a gift thing, this past Christmas, I got a game for a friend, and I was just like, why do I have to fucking send it now? Like, why can't I just schedule it to be like Christmas morning, send it off to this person? Like, I was like, why the fuck is there not a scheduling system? Like, that should exist instead of just being like, give it now or fucking have it sit in your inventory until you wait on the day and then be like, all right, now send it.
And then hope they're online and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So I think that this alleviates a couple of things. This alleviates a gray market on Steam for trading games. This also alleviates some less than reputable developers getting around the promo version of games to send out for review. To send them out as gift to then have it show up as this was a legitimate bought version of the game. This wasn't a publicity copy. This wasn't an advanced review copy. This was a purchase copy.
Right.
Because some less than reputable companies would do that. They would just gift it. They wouldn't actually send out the review code, so it wouldn't flag right within their internal system.
Yeah.
This removes all of that. Unless, they're just straight up buying them as straight gifts. This at least helps limit that, or does it? I honestly don't think it does. I rescind all of that. Yeah, I don't see how that does that actually. Who knows? I guess they just want to try to shut down that gray market. But if you already have gifts as items in your inventory, they're not going to take those away. Those will still exist in the way that they do. So that market's just going to shoot up in value. If you've got an old copy of Prey sitting around as a gift.
No shit.
The original Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be worth some bank. That's the only way I was able to get it, because it got pulled from Steam a long while ago. And someone happened to have a copy that they were trading for. I think they got a hat out of me. In other Steam news, they just announced today changing how the store works and how it's handling content suggestions to you as a as a purchaser.
Okay.
So they had a very lengthy blog post where they're basically outlining, okay, there's a bunch of different types of people who play games. Primarily, this is from a Steam standpoint. So, like, there's some people who only play AAA games. There's people who only play indie games. There's people who only check in maybe once a month into Steam. There are other people who are checking it every day, who are ravenous about the industry and following it really closely. So, like, they're trying to develop a system that will accommodate all of those people. So, starting actually today, they've kind of peeled back the screen or peeled back the veil over how those recommendations are served to you. So now on the right, whenever you're on a game page on Steam, it'll have a little box that says reasons you might like this game. And there'll be big green checks next to things that it thinks are 100% reasons that you would like this game.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, oh, it's similar to these games. It's got really good reviews. Curators you follow have recommended it. You have a bunch of friends that want it. It's on your wish list. You have friends who already own it. Like, they're making it more clear as to how the whole system works. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Open it up. Let us see how that sausage gets made. Because
well, for some, when you see that sausage, you might not want sausage afterwards.
I've never cared. I've ate it before. I've eaten it for over 30 years.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to stop me now. So, yeah, they also mentioned in that blog post that there are more changes coming to Steam. And to keep your ear to the ground, they'll have more coming up. So, hey, cool. They've been very chatty lately, Valve in particular, about Steam and its inner and outer workings. It seems like they really have realized they need to get out there. They need to start talking because they have squandered so much trust.
Yeah. Yeah. They've been quiet a lot within the last couple of years.
Within the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Or 15.
Right.
It's kind of annoying, and now they're getting out there and they're finally like, oh, okay, so this is how we work, and nothing but good can come from that. To expose all that, warts and all, everyone can go, what the fuck, or okay, I can see what you're thinking.
Right.
That way, hopefully, by the time they get around to trying paid mods again, they will have had substantial feedback to find a way to make it work. Donation page. That's how you do that.
Yeah, really.
God damn it. In weirder news, so there's an individual who bought just a massive box of random things from eBay and ends up finding the gold source code disc for StarCraft.
Yes.
In that bundle. He had no idea what to do with it. At the end of the day, he ended up giving it back to Blizzard. As he should. Which kind of sadly ruins that. Like, I would have the same conundrum. Like, holy shit. This is an amazing relic that cannot be duplicated. Do I hoard this or do I give it back to the rightful owners? Like, that would be a big question for me. But he did the right thing. He shipped it back to Blizzard, and they rewarded him with a bunch of gear and merch and stuff like that. But it's good to know that the original owners have that for preservation.
Yeah.
But holy how much would you shit yourself? You open up a box and holy shit, it literally says it's a golden disc, has the Blizzard logo, and then just in plain text, StarCraft Gold Master source code. Like, this is the first child.
Yeah. And out to add on top of what he got out of it, I mean, he got a bunch of merch, like Blizzard merch, but they were like, hey, have you heard of BlizzCon? And he goes, yeah, but I can never really afford to go. And they go, yeah, we're going to pay for everything. So you can go. Like all fucking, like everything, flight, hotel, event, everything. Like
Is
they're
that
covering
just for this year?
Yeah.
Or is that for life? Because
No.
I feel like that should be a BlizzCon for life type deal.
Right. No, it was just for this year. Like they were going to cover for everything.
Well, it's not enough.
It would be for me, man. I don't know.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The Nintendo PlayStation prototype. You remember that thing?
Yeah, barely.
They got it working. Ben Heck did. I haven't actually watched the video just yet, but he got it to boot. Which I'm really curious to see what that looks like. Like looking at it right now, he had to pull it apart and rewire it, and there's a crazy amount of engineering that went into actually getting that thing to operate.
Yeah.
But they got it to go. So hooray. Nintendo seems like they're finally willing to shed some light on the future of the 3DS's big franchises. They have announced that Fire Emblem Echoes, which is due out in the next month, will be the last mainline Fire Emblem game for the 3DS. Which means Fire Emblem will be moving to the Switch exclusively. Which they already have a Fire Emblem game announced for Switch, but this is the first major franchise, and it's nutty to me that Fire Emblem is a major franchise now.
Yeah.
This is the first major franchise where they're like, oh, yeah, this is the last one for that platform. Like, no, this is the last one. So that shows a good understanding of stop the 3DS. It's good. It's been good. It's got a lot of great games. That 3DS, solid fucking system. Focus on your Switch.
Yeah.
Not that you've been doing a terrible job with that.
Right. It's definitely all hands on deck for the Switch right now.
Yeah, totally. Like that thing is selling as quickly as it touches a shelf. So you should be focusing on that.
Yeah. I think they kind of learned their lesson with Wii, and that's probably why they're going all hands on deck. Not to say that like Wii wasn't as successful as it was, but I think that it just could have been more.
Certainly.
And I think that it sounds like they definitely learned their lesson with that. So they're just like, oh shit, man, like this is starting to sell really well again with our next console. Let's get all of our goddamn effort on it.
Well, yeah, and that's a big reason too with Mario Kart getting out there. I think the Switch is definitely going to benefit from the worst parts of the Wii and the Wii U combined. Because with the Wii, they got it out there, and I don't think they were anticipating that big of a hit.
Yeah.
So they didn't have like core titles lined up. They had a whole bunch of casual friendly games that were good in their own right, but they're not what the core audience wanted. Who can forget the E3 where they announced Wii Music and said, don't worry, core gamers, we remember you. Here's Animal Crossing City Folk, which, don't get me wrong, I was in the wrong mindset at the time. Animal Crossing's fucking tits. I can't wait for the Switch one, because there's better fucking be a Switch one. But it isn't what the audiences at large want. Like, they were kind of tone deaf with the Wii. The Wii U, on the other hand, they did have those games, but they did not market what the fuck the Wii U was correctly.
Yeah.
In here with the Switch, they're like, nah, I think we got it. This is what this thing is. Kaboom, you understand. It's a console portable. Switch, it changes things. Go. And now because no one bought a Wii U, that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is selling better than any other Mario Kart ever. It is right now the preeminent game on that. coming right off of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And there's rumors. I didn't flag them in news, but there are rumors that there are 2 Metroid games in development. One by Retro, which is basically Metroid Prime 4, and one by, I forget the name of the other company.
Or something new. I'm okay with something new.
Well, that's what this other company is.
No, I meant Retro. I'm okay with if
yeah.
Retro does something new, just as long as it's a good Metroid game.
I want Retro to focus on making 3D first-person Metroids. Because they've proven that's what they can do, and they can do it fucking great.
Yeah.
But this other company was supposedly developing a 2D Metroid at the same time. So who knows? Who knows? Again, those were just rumors.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly.
How many times was rumored for Half-Life 3? Fucking way too many.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that anymore. But yeah, I think this, in them saying that Echoes is the last Fire Emblem on 3DS, yeah, please. Just, you've got plenty announced for the 3DS through 2018, through the first half of 2018. It's time to sunset that system. Shift everyone over to the Switch and do that.
I don't know if it's done yet, because I mean they did just release the 2DS XL.
Right, that is very clearly a like Game Boy not Pocket. What was that one? The Game Boy Micro of the 3DS. The like really fucking awesome, but the last hurrah. Because that 3DS generation, you have to be reaching market saturation at this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, fuck. How many did I buy? I bought the OG when it came out.
As far as games go, like I don't think there's anything that's really been catching my interest other than maybe like the Phoenix Wright games, but that's about it.
Traded that in for Zelda one.
But I haven't even bought the most recent Phoenix Wright game, which I know came out. Like I still have the demo on my fucking 3DS, but I haven't bought it because I've just been busy with all the other games.
Now, what if Capcom comes out and says, "Hey, here's all the Phoenix Wright games on the Switch"?
It'd be a weird game to have on a console, I guess, but
no, it wouldn't, because that fucker's got a touch screen. Yeah. Well, remember, originally that was on Game Boy Advance in Japan.
Right.
Started on Game Boy Advance.
Right. No, I know.
Yeah. I could see them doing it, though.
I just know that, to me, the Phoenix Wright games have been better on the 3DS because of with the whole touch thing. I mean, not to say that again, it wouldn't be on Switch, but
it would have to be a different thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they really do, like you said, unless they just do something where it's like they call it the fucking Ace Attorney Saga or something like that, and it's just fucking everything, all the Apollo Justice, like all the Phoenix Wright games, everything, all in the one package. Here you go, fucking
one cartridge.
Which is totally doable considering the fucking trilogy is out and available, and that's like probably a small file size, and then just I mean they would definitely have to update the graphics for the first 3 games because those are pretty old. Those are some pretty old graphics that they've got on there. I mean they still look good, but for something to sell on the Switch, like it would have to look better.
All you would have to do is take the anime and use those same drawings. Bing, bang, boom. There you go. A really sleek, nice-looking Phoenix Wright. Kaboom. I really, like, in my heart of hearts, there's a part of me that really wants From Software to team up with Capcom to make, like, a Dark Souls Monster Hunter crossover or Bloodborne Monster Hunter crossover, even though that's impossible.
Yeah.
But I would love a Dark Souls Monster Hunter. That'd be fucking incredible. Oh, do it. Do it. Do it. Let's see here. Okay, so there was a bit of a dispute between Bethesda They're lawyers and a little individual game. I forget the name of it right now, but they sued over the use of the word prey in their game name. So this little indie game had to change the spelling of it to Praey,
Yeah.
which is really stupid. It's the same reason they went after Notch when he made Scrolls, because they're afraid of Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
And Pete Hines gets out there on Twitter and says, we don't really have much of a choice. If we don't oppose the mark, we risk losing our Prey trademark. We really don't have a choice. Which is not the fucking case. You totally have the choice. No one is going to confuse Prey, the first-person sci-fi game that you've got, with anything else with just the word prey in it. Like the game Wings of Prey. That's a completely different game.
Yep.
And it came out before the original Prey. And they still... ZeniMax had the trademark. So why?
Mm-mm.
Why? Like... Pete Hines drives me fucking nuts. He's the guy who got out there before Fallout 4 came out and said, "You ever get stuck in a conversation in a game and just want to walk away?" Well, guess what you can do in Fallout 4? Just walk away from conversations, and that's interesting from a role-playing standpoint. If your game understands that. Pete Hines drives me nuts. Sorry, but that's not how you handle that. That's happier rumors. Far Cry 5 is rumored to be in development and rumored to be revealed later this year, and it's rumored to be a Western.
Could be cool if it's a Western.
I would be kind of excited for that. I've dabbled in the other Far Cries, but I've never even come close to finishing them. Because I climb one tower and see all the icons pop up and go, I'm good. I'm good.
I played all of 3. Never touched 4. I had a little bit of interest in it just because fucking riding on elephants, yo. But I don't know. Like, it just after 3, it just felt like it was more of 3, but just different setting. And I was just like, well, I kind of got my taste of Far Cry 3, and so there's really no reason to play the other ones, I guess, in my eyes. But 3 I fucking loved because there are some really great main storyline quests that are just so fucking good and so entertaining.
Yeah, okay, so I did play 3. No, I'm sorry, I played 4.
Right.
And I got the 15-minute ending.
Yep.
And then I'm like,
and that was it.
That's cool.
And then you stopped.
And I stopped. I didn't buy it. I was playing on someone else's PS4 with my girlfriend's at the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I heard that it does this thing. Are you done with it? She's like, oh, yeah, I finished it. Okay, cool. Let me try this thing. Huh, that was full of spoilers, wasn't it? She's like, yeah, that ruined everything. I'm like, cool. I'm good. But it's neat that they put that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you make this a cowboy game, and the way things are going, like, fuck, just give me a Westworld game.
Hey, you know what?
I want to live in Westworld.
If it's gonna be fucking Western, I don't think there's a lot of towers that existed in the Western times, as far as I know. So don't have fucking towers in your goddamn game.
No, but you know what did exist was mountains.
Yeah, I know, but it still doesn't...
So there'll be mountains.
Not a lot. It's not like there were fucking mountains in every region.
I mean, they have to be aware that is an issue with their games.
Yeah.
Right? They have to be, right?
No, it's iconic, and that's why they're gonna keep it in.
God. That being said, I do have a copy of Watch Dogs 2 sitting on my shelf right now that I really want to toss in.
Mm.
Just Nier has been weird, so you can't out weird Nier.
Yeah, I kind of want to try, because I have Watch Dogs 1, and I think I played the first hour and a half of it, and I was like, okay, but from what I've heard with Watch Dogs 2, it's just a lot more interesting as far as like the story and just how fucking crazy the characters are and what you can do in that game.
Which is why I picked it up, because they just patched it recently to add a whole bunch of paintball guns as non-lethal options.
Oh, okay.
Because if you think of how your whole dead set community is supposed to be set up, it's supposed to be like, fuck the man, fuck police brutality, fuck all this shit. But you're running around with AKs and shit. Like there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're adding a non-lethal playthrough with that, I think, feels a lot more in line with those characters and their motivation, or at least my outside understanding of it.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to play that game more. Like, I'm the kind of person where if there is a non-lethal option to play through a game, I'm trying to do that as much as I fucking can.
Yeah.
I get so pissed off at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2 when I found out I killed one person on the tanker level and it didn't give it to me. I must have dropped him somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, you give me a non-lethal option that'll make me more interested in your game if you take that into consideration.
Yeah.
As a valid method of playing your game. And I really want to get into Watch Dogs 2. But again, Nier.
Yeah.
So that's all the news that I really flagged. Did I miss anything?
There was an announcement for Deadly Premonition, the board game, which I don't even know how the fuck you missed that one.
Oh shit. Well, yeah. I saw it. I saw it.
Okay.
But I was busy.
Okay.
And I don't understand. What, does it just whistle at you annoyingly loud?
I don't know. It was just one of those things where I saw it and I was like, and I thought of you and I was like, he's got to fucking see that and pick it up. But that was about it.
There's a teaser.
Yeah.
It's 48 seconds long.
Okay.
Such as Zach, can you hear me? It's me, York. We're gonna live stream this.
Oh God.
There's a coffee swirl.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a coffee cup. Shit.
Jesus.
There has to be a coffee cup. You have to stare into your coffee at the beginning of every day.
Well, maybe just have that, as like a thing while you're playing the board game.
It looks like everyone has character sheets, and there's guns and donuts and evidence bags. I don't know how. Yeah, it's just a teaser for a board game, which is fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's
Deadly Premonition.
Hey man, there's a fucking Dark Souls board game. There's a Doom board game. Like, fucking what? But they exist.
The whole thing with those is that there's actually something that you can look at within that game and go, okay, there's something here that could work as a board game mechanic. Deadly Premonition is finding keychains that look like squirrels and staring into coffee and changing your suit.
Right.
And finding weights. And it's Twin Peaks. I apparently will know in about 21 hours. Or 20 hours.
Well, there you go.
Go to deadlyprem.com.
There you go.
What the fuck? I gotta get back to that too. I really want to finish Deadly Premonition.
But yeah, that's about it as far as what I'm looking at. Although granted, it's more recent than the last year or the last week. So, yep, that's about it. Oh yeah, Risk of Rain 2 announced. I think that's
right. They just announced that today.
Yeah. I played probably like at least 10 hours of Risk of Rain.
See, I didn't put a lot of time in that.
Yeah, it's a cool game. I liked it for what it was. It's a nice little fucking roguelike game. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, it's kind of weird the direction they're taking though, because they're going for like a full 3D thing where it's just like you're third person, like you're in the dead center of the screen and you're shooting around, and you can fully explore the area in 3 dimensions. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel
Interesting.
about it because I really liked the how the first one was, but then again, it's kind of like, well, how do you?
Where do you go from there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like you can go. I mean, could go the Binding of Isaac route where you just fucking add more, but then again, you can't really. I don't know, justify it, or at least for some people, justify it being a totally new game.
Hmm.
But then again,
Yeah.
there's no Binding of Isaac 2. It's still called Binding of Isaac. It just has different fucking little subtitles.
Afterbirth, Rebirth, Second Birth,
Yeah.
plus. I don't know.
Whatever it is. Yeah. There's like
Yeah.
3 different ones or something like that.
The the most recent one I have on Switch, and it's Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus,
Okay.
because it was Binding of Isaac, then Binding of Isaac Rebirth,
Mm.
and then Afterbirth,
Hmm.
and now Afterbirth Plus.
Gotcha.
Yes, that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Meh. Fair enough. So if that'll do it for the news, let's kick it over to emails. Email us at utterlygeek@gmail.com. That's utterlyg33k@gmail.com. If you send them there, we'll answer them here. No new emails this week, but you can also join us live on twitch.tv/cptwally, where we do this live every Monday at some time. Follow us on Twitter at utterlygeek. That's utterlyg33k at Twitter. If you follow us there, we tweet out when we're gonna do the episode that day. You can chat along with us,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll answer your questions right now. Did we get any questions?
No questions.
Cool. Well, not cool, but okay.
Right.
That kicks us over to new releases
Mm-hmm.
for the coming week. Starting as always with the PlayStation 4. Let's see here. Human Fall Flat comes out May 9th on PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those intentionally difficult to play physics games.
Oh, God.
If you really want to get into it, yeah, you can totally do that. Oh my God. Bloons TD5 comes out May 9th for PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Do you remember Bloons, the old Shockwave Flash turret defense game with the monkeys and the darts?
Oh,
No?
God. I'm looking at it now, or at least the Wikipedia page of it.
Yep. Bloons, Bloons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's becoming a thing? Like,
Apparently that's the 5th of the things.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. I feel old.
Huh. Yeah. No, I can't say I've ever played those, but
There were times in college where Bloons was definitely a thing. Oh, man. I feel old. Loco Roco comes out PlayStation 4 on May 9th. Loco Roco was an old PSP game.
Mm-hmm.
Weird shit going on with that. NBA Playgrounds, November. I'm sorry. Wow, what happened? May 9th, PlayStation 4, NBA Playgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Strafe comes out May 9th on PlayStation 4. I believe the same day on PC. Let me double check that. Yes, that is correct. Strafe. Lethal League, which is an awesome fucking game, already available on PC, coming out May 10th on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Sweet.
Yeah, Lethal League is What if baseball was mixed? Well, more like Pong is mixed with Smash Brothers
Mm-hmm.
and Light Speed,
Yes.
and you get Lethal League.
Yep.
I highly recommend it. Neo Geo King of Fighters 95 comes out on PlayStation 4 May 11th. If you're into the King of Fighters series and you really want to play another one, the old one again, kicking it over to the Xbox One. How far am I going? Okay, not to that point.
Short? Is it short? It sounds short.
We've already said most of them. Lethal League May 10th.
Okay.
Butcher May 10th, also coming to PC and PS4.
Mm-hmm.
May 10th. Human Fall Flat May 12th
Mm-hmm.
for Xbox One. Elliot Quest comes out on Xbox One. It says it's also available on 3DS, PC, PlayStation 4, and Wii U May 12th. And Demon's Crystals comes out on PC, PS4, Xbox One on May 12th.
Mm-hmm.
That is everything for Xbox One.
Hmm.
I didn't skip anything. PC sees NBA Playgrounds as well, come out May 9th. Oh, God. Why is this such a pain in the ass? Because it's PC.
Because there's
Ice,
a lot of games.
May 10th. Yeah, PC is such a... This is why it's very important for Steam to fix their shit. Because you always have all this garbage
Yeah.
that comes out. Like, yeah, there's really nothing of point other than what I've already said.
Okay.
The Switch also sees NBA Playgrounds come out May 9th, and Minecraft Switch Edition comes out May 11th. That'll be it for your new releases. I think we did it. I think we did it pretty well. I think we did it pretty well without Steven.
Yeah.
Hooray.
We did all right without him. We did all right.
We did all right.
Yeah, we did all right.
Not the best.
Yeah.
But not the worst.
Right.
We did all right. Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe we will see you next week, next Monday.
Yeah.
The 15th.
And people should go see Guardians of the Galaxy too, because I totally did.
I have not yet. I forgot that came out.
Yeah, this past weekend.
I forgot that was coming.
Yeah.
Alien Covenant comes out next
weekend.
Friday, which is not the Halo movie, by the way. Just so you know.
Right. I've been recapping on the Alien movies almost every weekend up to this weekend.
Man.
We watched Alien 3 this past weekend, which was like the second time I've seen that movie in its entirety. So, yeah. It's actually not as bad as what I remember it the first time I saw it.
So you're going to watch Alien Resurrection this weekend? Or Prometheus?
Well, we watched Prometheus recently, so I'm okay with not watching it again.
You sure you're not going to watch Alien Resurrection?
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure.
You sure?
Yes, I'm very sure.
Oh, I think you should. It's a movie that was made
by Joss Whedon. Written by Joss Whedon.
Directed by Joss Whedon.
No, he did not direct it.
Starring Joss Whedon.
No, the only thing he did was he just wrote it. That was it.
He's the alien.
Did not direct it though.
But he's the alien.
Sure.
Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next week, and we should have a full crew then.
Yeah.
Until then, have fun. We'll see you next week.
Bye.